So I'm here with Caitie Compton. She is a teacher at Harrisonville Middle School. So that's exciting. How do you like teaching?
I really like it. This is the ninth year for me, so I'm hitting a decade, and I feel like that's been plenty of time to figure out if this is for you or not. Working with middle schoolers has been incredible. So sixth, seventh, eighth graders. It's such an interesting age. So making art with a unique group of kids, the diversity in personalities is huge at this point. So it's a lot of fun creating with them.
That's awesome. So how has it like transitioned with all of this happening? Like what's going on
Yes.
with your
The
chapter?
experience is actually not that different for the sake of my building. We are in session face to face. The one difference is that we now have to sanitize any possible thing that has been touched from one person to another. So it's a lot of transitions, a lot of avoiding material sharing, but the rest of it is very normal.
Mhm.
The kids have transitioned really well to it.
That's awesome. Well, that's good for the kids anyways. Not
Yeah.
so much like the teacher having to sanitize everything. But
Yes, it's a lot of tracing. Like, did you touch this?
yeah. Yeah.
Did you touch this one? I need that.
But so how did you know that you wanted to become an art teacher?
Oh gosh, it's one of those things where you grow up knowing. I could tell you, my parents could tell you that it has been in my life for as long as I've existed. When I was little, I was trying to tinker with any little material, craft with whatever I could get my hands on. And at the same time, playing school was totally in my realm. That's what I would do with my friends when we were really little. And having decent teachers, as you grow up, makes a huge impact. Combining your love for art with working with younger humans, letting them have their own experience with art, it just sounded amazing to me. And so here I am getting to do what would be, I think, a dream job for a lot of people, playing with the kids, letting their imagination run. And you think you kind of have an idea of what something could look like, and they take a whole different path with it. I think that's the most fun thing. You get to see these unique brains show up on a display, like on paper or through painting or through clay. And it's amazing because you think what something could look like, and you just don't. So as you're teaching art, you're learning a lot too. So it's like a never-ending spiral of education for both of us, the kids and the teacher. And art teaching, I think, is just one of those subjects that allows for the diversity to show up that you can't quite get with other subjects or other hobbies even. So
That's
I
awesome.
don't think I would ever try to leave this career path.
I wouldn't even imagine that. So do you get like inspired seeing like your kids, and then do you like end up going home and like recreating or like going off that?
Yes, absolutely. I let their minds run with an idea. Of course, I want them to present it to me and I want to understand their perspective. But you think, like I said, you think you have an idea of what direction kids could go and how far the spectrum could be for creativity per se, as you want to like address how you could individualize it. But nope, they'll always surprise you. It's awesome.
That's awesome. So what's your favorite like niche? Like what's your favorite genre of art to do?
So painting is really my interest. I would love to do more if I could. You could have an endless supply if you wanted to, just knowing all the arts that there are. But I've always loved painting, and I continue to find that when I try different mediums, paint, I used to like oils. Now I'm finding I like watercolors. I just find that you learn more through trying different materials. So if I could get my hands on more, if anybody's got anything to share with me, other artists, I am here to hear them.
Yes. And I knew that you were doing, okay, what is it called with the paper? Like you weave?
Yes, quilling, paper
Okay, yes.
quilling. Well, there's a filigree. You can hear that too, but I
Oh,
call it quilling. Yeah, tiny paper glued to other paper in very ornate styles.
yeah. How
That's
long does that normally take?
Oh my, you can spend hours on sitting there and tampering with tiny strips of paper and then waiting for that glue to settle. You have your little tweezers to get the paper stuck to the other paper right in place. Um, it's like 20 plus hours on even a
Oh,
small piece
yeah.
very easily.
But it looks
Yeah.
beautiful. It looks
Yeah, they're stunning. There are some really incredible quilling artists out there.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So how long does a normal painting take you?
So you have a variety of sizes you have to consider, and you also have to consider how OCD or perfectionist you are about your work. And I would say on my end, for a lot of the smaller ones that I enjoy doing, I would think probably 10 to 15 hours. And then it really starts to just spiral into like this never ending thing if you keep putting in effort or you go large. You could go 30, you could go way more, depending on the time you have, really. And I try to limit it a little bit. That's why we stick with smaller sizes.
So how much time do you say you would put into it? Because you're also teaching. So
Yes.
like, do you come home? Like, what's a good hour of the day that you start painting?
Oh, yeah. When the children are asleep. So late at night. And that's when you have the energy. So if I really am like feeling creative, I feel like I need to get this idea on paper or just have a moment to myself and just be in the process. I find that I try to get in a couple hours a week. So it is rare currently, but in different months, like the summer, since when I'm not teaching, or if there's a break, I could do it every day very easily.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
That's nice. Is it almost like to help your sanity?
Oh, yes. I definitely use it as a therapeutic process.
Yeah. I don't.
Some way to get your own like interests and your hobbies back into your life when you are spending most of your day working and then you go home and you entertain your children.
Yes, that's awesome that you have that like gateway though.
Yeah, there's something.
Yeah. And you have an Etsy, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So the Etsy has been live for a long time. I have taken down multiple things to open up to what I mostly love, which are commission pieces. So even though as much as I love exploring, as I previously mentioned, I think finding what people are wanting and trying to help them get that in a visual form is the most fun. So you would be able to access my page anytime, and you'll learn that commission work is where I kind of have my head at.
Yeah.
And if you're on there anytime soon, you're going to see that it's actually for watercolor pet portraits, because those are my thing. I recently re-added pictures because I thought, well, it's been a hot minute since anybody has seen that stuff. So you could find that mainly. But any commission is worth asking about.
That's awesome.
Because a lot of creatives, much like me, we'll try to help you out.
So, but with your pieces, do you have any like motivation? Do you have any like, do you listen to a song? Do you see an image? Do you like, what's your main motivation and drive?
Yes, absolutely. I feel like any person who wants to play with art, they have inspiration. There's always inspiration somewhere. I find that mine is through nature and through identities, like connections through forms, like living beings. So that's where the animal portraits come in. And I've done a ton of portraiture of people, but like botanical work and that realm, just the natural world has been on my mind a lot. And so that's kind of where I've been recently. There for a while, I was all about portraiture of varying kinds. And now I'm just thinking, I see plants, I see green.
Yeah.
So
what would you say was like the pivotal moment where you were like, I don't want to be a nurse. I don't want to be a fighter. I want to be an artist and I want to keep pursuing this.
yeah, you know what? That's a good question. I believe that came around just that moment when you were graduating high school and you get you have a little bit of authority over your future and you have to make some decisions. Well, I chose a school that was geared towards education, and knowing I was going to go that route, I thought I'll take some art courses and we'll see how that goes. And it just kind of like worked together. I could tell this was going to work out. So even though I feel like I always would have hoped I could have been a teacher, specifically an art teacher, that drive really showed up when you're hitting that college now. You're like, yes, I can do this. So probably about 18.
Okay. And was it like really hard to find a job after you graduated, or was it?
So unique experience. I happened to head back to my hometown,
Okay.
and the art teacher that I had at the middle school was retiring. So knowing I had this position and I could potentially work back in my own hometown, I had to take advantage of that. I had to attempt to, and it just in my scenario, it worked out, and I got to, and I still am at the school that I also went to school to.
That's awesome. That's really exciting.
Yes.
So do you think you'll ever move away, or do you think you're like there to stay?
I think I would be happy to try a new place if there were things that seemed beneficial to going elsewhere. Right now, being in my hometown with my family, being so close to my school, I don't foresee a reason that would drive me elsewhere. I just need some mountains behind me.
Same. Same.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Caitie, for talking with us tonight. And is there anything that you'd like to tell the world about being an artist and pursuing their dreams?
Thanks for having me. I feel like it's one of those things that you know what your drive is, your passion is, and you got to figure a way to make it work. It can be hard, it can be easy, it can be scary, but it's all worth it. You learn from it every time you take a chance towards a dream. So don't give up.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much, and I really enjoyed our time together.
Yes, thank you. I enjoyed this too.
Yes.